Hey guys, we're back with yet another video on the semi-trailer. It seems you guys just can't get enough of the trailer, and frankly, I can't get enough of bringing you more of the trailer. So we've got a ton to unpack with the trailer in this episode. We're going to start by finishing the removal of the ceramic floor and then the linoleum floor in the semi's upper deck. Now, if you remember in our last video, we talked about, are we going to find holes in the original wood floor where the winch was mounted, the winch to control the rear ramp? So we're going to get that floor completely cleared out, everything vacuumed up, back to original, and see if we can find any place where they would have mounted the winch. So after that, our friend Eric, you guys remember Eric, he's heavily involved in the semi's acquisition and restoration. He stops by for a whirlwind couple-hour visit where I teach him how to use an angle grinder, and we remove all of the remaining rear panels, the rear aluminum panels in the inside of the trailer. So by the end of this video, the inside of the trailer will be like 95% gutted, which is crazy, which means we're almost ready to start the rebuild process, which is even crazier to me. So after that, then we're going to kind of give you an overview of all of the items that we've secured so far for the semi-interior set. One of the reasons Eric swung by quickly the other day was to deliver some of these semi parts that we've acquired. So we're going to show you what we have for the office set, for the lounge set, and tell you a little bit about each piece and kind of what we're missing still. And after that, we're going to give you guys a really, really cool opportunity to have your name immortalized on the semi, like for all eternity. Well, at least until, it's out of our control, which hopefully will be for a long time. But there's going to be a really neat opportunity that's going to give you that chance and help us out. So you don't want to miss that. Also, we're going to do our shout outs to our flag agents, our Patreon supporters, and answer more of your questions. And least, but certainly not, or I guess I should say last, but certainly not least, we made a discovery on the trailer, something that Universal Studios put on the trailer themselves back in 1982 when they first started using it for Knight Rider. Something that I thought was long gone, and we made this discovery just the other day. It's something really, really cool that, again, ties the trailer to the studio. So you're not going to want to miss that. I think that's probably covered just about everything we're going to go through in this episode, which is a ton. So enough of me talking. Let's roll the intro. Do you want to help with the semi's restoration? Donate now to the Semi Restoration GoFundMe initiative or buy one of our awesome Semi Restoration Team shirts. Links are in the video description below. Well, it's time to get rid of the tile, get rid of the linoleum, and see what is actually under all of that junk, that non-original floor. So in the past, I'd been using, hand chisels and hammers and all this stuff, and it was such hard work. And I'm like, why am I doing it this way? So for today, we're upgrading. That should make it a little easier. Let's go. All right, that's how you make quick work of tile. Now, we just have to unscrew this cement board that's here, get all this cleaned up, rip the linoleum off, and then we should be down to the bare wood. All right, so we got the cement board out. Had to use the air chisel on that too, because every single one of the screws had adhesive in the head. And I could sit there picking them out with, you know, a little pick, but I thought, no, let's just use the air chisel. Went through it, got all that out, and then I spent the last 25 minutes with vice grips unscrewing all of the screws that were on this part. I still have more to do back on the wood, but this panel, it is glued down in places, so it's not going to come up in one sheet. But once we pull this up, we are at the base floor, the wood of the trailer. So if there's any mounting holes under here for a winch, we should find them when we lift this up. Now, something interesting that may or may not be relevant, whenever I pulled up the cement board, I did find this hole right here, cut through the linoleum and through the wood, but the cement board covered it up. So what does that mean? Well, I guess the first question is this linoleum original from the show? Because if it is, then that potentially could be some sort of a mounting hole, or a hole where they ran maybe some power cables or whatnot. I don't know, because when we talked to the guys who did work on the trailer, they did say they ran the cables underneath the trailer, like the power cables to the limit switches that are over by the door. So that could be for that. Or I'm wondering, I mean, it's about a 3-inch hole, so I didn't know if there was maybe a winch mounted on a plate with a tube that went down there, and then, you know, like a big nut underneath to really clamp it to the wood. So that's a possibility. Or the other possibility is that's from something after its use on Knight Rider. And at this point, we just don't know. However, it's in the general area. It's not exactly center with the trailer. It looks like it's off this way a little bit, but pretty close. So that's, you know, maybe an option. But once we pull this linoleum up and get this swept out and vacuumed, we should have a better idea of what's going on. All right, so here is the cleaned off floor. Unfortunately, there are no winch mounting holes. We have this hole, which we already discussed. As you can see, it's off center quite a bit. So here's what I think actually happened. There was clearly something here. You can see it in the floor, right? And there was something right here. When we look at the walls, you can also see this line right here? There's a line here, and not as easily recognized, but a line right there. See that? Right there. Notice how it's right where these bolts are, right? The bolts that we see on the outside of the trailer. Same on the other side. So there was a false wall here, no doubt about it. False wall right here, that line, and it lines up perfectly with this line down here. Here's what I think. The winch was mounted on the floor right there, but it wasn't screwed in to the floor. It was screwed into a steel reinforcement wall right here. I don't know if it was a solid wall or just bracing back here, but this was the winch, but it was bolted into this wall that's missing here. The wall was held in by these three bolts on either side of the trailer, okay? And then the wall also would have had the sheave or the pulley right here to take the cable from vertical to horizontal, and the cable would have run through this channel as a guide. I'm almost positive that's the way it worked. Now, I mentioned in our previous video some concerns about how we're going to do the semi-set in here if that's the situation, if there's a cable down here. So what we're considering doing is we're going to put this wall back in, because having this wall in here is not going to affect anything for the lounge area. We don't need this area for the lounge, as you can tell by the stove here, which we'll cover in a minute. So I think what we're going to do maybe is just mount the winch up here, get rid of the sheave that would have been up there, put the winch there, and that way it's just pulling directly horizontal. So we still have some things we got to figure out there, but that's our kind of our theory on how it was set up and how we're going to set it up. So we might deviate just a hair from what was in here, but literally would just be taking, instead of the winch down here, gonna have the winch up here instead. So that's what we're thinking right now, and we'll see if that comes to fruition. All right, so I want to give you a little backstory on this next piece. A couple days prior to Eric's arrival, I was on a ladder looking at something on the inside of the trailer, kind of up high near the ceiling. And out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a label. All right. Now, we know from all of our research and all of our experience that Universal Studios, whenever they had an asset come in, and I'm talking specifically the transportation side of the house, when they had an asset come in, they would label that asset. And when I say asset, I mean it could be a car, a truck, a trailer, things like that. They would give it a unique number that would tie into their inventory and their records. So they would always be able to know that, X number or 1, 2, 3, 4 equates to this asset. All right. And one of the many ways that we authenticate if something is original to the show, vehicular-wise, is to look for these labels. And we know exactly where to look for them on the cars and the tractors, really, too. We found one on the tractor, the GMC General tractor, but we never really knew where to look for them on the trailer. In a screenshot from the wrong crowd, you can actually see one of these labels on the outside of the trailer, but it's too far away to read. But we knew what we were looking for. You could tell there's a label there, but we didn't know where else that those labels would have been. So I happened to accidentally stumble upon one. And then a few seconds later, I stumbled upon a second one, which is ridiculous. So I wanted to surprise Eric, because again, he's invested in this project just as much as I am and as much as AJ is. So I wanted to surprise him with it. So what you're going to see now is Eric's genuine reaction to hearing that we found one of these labels on the trailer. None of this is staged. This is legit. He had no idea when I started filming him where it was going to go. And his reaction is just plain awesome. Check it out. Hi, Eric.
Hey, Joe. Hey, everybody.
Okay, so obviously we know this trailer is 100% from the show, right? There's no question about that.
No question. Not at all.
What's one way that Universal Studios managed all of their assets?
Manage their assets.
Yeah, like they had this trailer, they had a whole bunch of Knight Rider cars. Like, how did they keep track of their inventory?
They had various numbering systems.
Okay, and the numbering system they had, what did they do with that? They had it like in a computer or on paperwork. How did they tie that to the vehicles or the trailer?
They obviously kept records of it, and they
right. But how did they know that number 1, 2, 3, 4 belonged to a certain asset? Come on, Eric.
Sorry.
I know. I'm kind of catch you off guard, but that's the point of this.
I know this, but say that again.
All right. So the studio has paperwork. Mm-hmm. They have logs, maybe a computer log, whatever. And they see that the car from Colombo, they gave it the number of 1, 2, 3, 4. Mm-hmm. All right. So it's on the paperwork. But how did they know that Colombo car was car 1, 2, 3, 4? That specific one. If they had a whole row of Colombo cars, how would they know which one was 1, 2, 3, 4?
They would label it. They would put an actual label.
Yes.
On the vehicle.
Okay. Excellent.
Typically a dymo label.
Excellent. So what if I told you I found a dymo label on the trailer? What if I told you I found 2 dymo labels on the trailer?
What?
Would you like to see them?
I would, and before we go see that, I would like to just put it on record. Remember back when we were talking about this, I said, hey, there's gotta be a label on there somewhere. Wouldn't it be awesome? And you were like, it's long gone. Because based on the information we had been given, they said that it was in a particular location, which we had checked that location, and there was no more label. And it made sense that like, okay, that location would have been long gone.
Yes.
But in my heart of hearts, even though we talked about it, I was like, God, something. I still had some hope, a little glimmer of hope, like something somewhere on here.
Do you give consent for your wildly awesome reaction to be placed on a future YouTube video?
I suppose I do.
Excellent. Would you like to see the labels?
I'm fine with it now. I'll probably regret it later, but that's okay.
Would you like to see the labels?
I would let's go. I would like to see.
They're literally 4 feet from you. We don't even have to leave the trailer.
Where's Waldo?
I may have placed the ladder in a strategic place.
Strategery. I know what color it would have been originally, but I don't expect that to be the color now.
Astute.
So I'm not.
It's not behind any panels.
Okay.
You don't have to touch anything to see it.
No. I'm not gonna read it out loud just because we gotta keep some secrets. Yes! No way! Yeah, baby. You said there's 2?
Yes. Where do you think the other one might be? Feel free to get down, move the ladder, and check it out. That one you could read a little better too.
This last 1,500 miles or so that I drove was totally, I mean, it was worth it before, but even more so now.
We've got a new feature across the Knight Rider Historian's YouTube channel, Super Thanks, not to be confused with Super Pursuit. With Super Thanks, you have the option to post a distinct, colorful, and fully customizable comment in our videos comments section. This shows the world that you are a super Knight Rider fan and will stand out amongst the sea of comments that we receive. Go ahead, give it a try. And every Super Thanks gets a super response from us. Press the thanks button. Just don't press the turbo boost. All right, so do you want to have your name immortalized on the actual Screen Use Knight Rider trailer for all eternity? What you're looking at here is, this is the skin of the trailer, the outside aluminum skin. It's obviously the inside of the outside of the skin. Sure. What we're going to do is at the top here, we're going to write Knight Rider Restoration Team supporters. All right, and for a donation of $100, we'll write your name on this panel, and we'll do it in a future video. So you can see us writing your name on this panel. These funds are desperately needed. We have thousands and thousands of dollars ahead of us in tires, in recreating the ramp, recreating the sleeper, recreating all this interior. And we thought this might be a cool way for you guys to connect with the project, even though you're not physically here, and know that for all eternity, your name will be on the trailer. And we may even build something here where this is, because this is going to be covered up, obviously, this is going to be part of the office, but maybe we'll build it so we can have this panel removable, so when we take it to shows, we can show people all of the names of the supporters. I think it'll be really, really neat. All right, so if you want to get your name on this wall and support us, check out below. There's all the information you need on how to make that happen. Thank you guys so much. Well, I've got yet another really cool thing to show you. So I decided to take a few minutes and actually pull out all of the Knight Rider semi-set stuff that we've accumulated thus far, just to kind of give you a whole picture. I've talked about bits and pieces here and there that we've acquired, but now I kind of want to show you the whole collection as it is. We've got like 95% of the stuff we were looking for the inside set of the show. Now, I don't mean like the cabinets or the lighting, you know, the fluorescent lighting fixtures, stuff that's easier to source. I'm talking about the rare, really hard to find one-off stuff that really a lot of you guys out there in our previous videos helped us to identify and even acquire. So we're gonna kind of give you a little tour of everything we've got so far. All right, so I thought for effect, let's put everything up on the upper deck of the semi. This part of the trailer's pretty much gutted. We have a few tiny little things to do. I'm not gonna keep this out here. This is just for you guys, really. Actually, it was quite a pain to pull all this stuff out, set it up, but it's the things I do for you. All right, so let's start here with the latest piece to end up here. I guess you could say the latest piece we acquired. This is the kitchenette that you see in the lounge. Now, some of you more astute viewers are going to notice two things wrong with this compared to the one in the show. One, you don't see the wood grain on the front. Well, I don't think they offered these with the wood grain. I'm pretty sure the studio put the wood grain on to match the wood grain of the cabinets and the color scheme on the set. And so that's not a big deal. We can do that. The bigger difference is the one on the show actually had two doors. One narrow door and one wider door. This one only has one wide door. We had the opportunity to purchase this. It's the right width. These came in all kinds of different widths, different styles. This one is really, really, really close to the one on the show. I think maybe the grates, the openings on the back, on the splash, the backsplash there, I think those might be a little bit different too. So we're treating this as a placeholder. This unit is going to go in, like I said, it's the right size. It's going to go into the lounge, and then one day when we find the exact one we need, we'll swap it out. So there's the kitchenette. You can see you got a fridge down here, made by Acme Company. How original. You got two burners, your sink. What's cool about this is it came with all the original paperwork. It was, I don't think it was used very much, and it still works. So that's pretty neat. So when we do find another unit, if we find maybe the correct unit, but it doesn't work, maybe we can, you know, put the two of these together and make one correct working unit. Because that's kind of the plan. You know, we want this to work in the lounge. We want to have maybe running water, you know, put a water tank underneath the trailer, kind of like there was when we got the trailer, with a pump and a drain, and be able to, you know, have some water in here, definitely have a stove and a fridge. Why not, right? All right, this thing I might be more excited about than possibly any other piece. This is the correct computer chair for the show, for the semi set. I'm shocked that we found it. Now, of course, the fabric's different. I'm pretty sure Universal upholstered it to match the seats and everything, but this is 100% the correct seat. And you can see it's got the casters, it's got this, you know, this unique design here. I'd have to look. I think, were the legs chrome in the show? I think they were also, but that's, you know, that's easy enough to take care of. But everything, every detail, even this cone-shaped base under here, this is the exact chair they used in the show. I mean, obviously not the screen use chair, but yeah. So super excited that we were able to find that chair. Now the real question is, whenever we have this the set in here, you know, we're gonna have to find a way to kind of lock this stuff down whenever we're traveling, right? So it doesn't just roll all over the place, but that's a good problem to have. All right, so moving over here, we've got the Texas Instruments professional computer. This is the computer you see in the semi for most of season 2 and season 3. By season 4, they replaced the computer in the semi with an HP unit, but this is a Texas Instruments. The monitor does work. The power supply of the CPU needs work. So actually the power supply is at AJ's place right now. He's going to do his magic and get that functional again. We've got the keyboard here. The F5 key is not missing. I mean, it's missing in this video. We do have it, just hasn't made it back onto the keyboard yet. So we've got our crown jewel computer there. The coffee maker. The Braun coffee maker. Same one we see in season 1 it's painted white. I mean, it's not painted white, it's originally white. This is white plastic. Season 2 through 4, they actually painted this red, the original one red. And if you look closely, you can actually see on, you know, in some of the scenes where you see the coffee make, you can actually see little bits of white where the paint has chipped off. So they painted it red for season 2 through 4. We're gonna paint this one red because we're going for the season 4 look of the semi. So this one is in excellent, excellent condition. All right, and then we have these globe lights. So let me tell you about these globe lights. These were in the lounge of the semi, like, you know, right where we're at. And actually they would have been mounted like right around here, 2 of them. We Googled and Googled for hours and hours and hours trying to find a match for these globe lights with the right arm and everything, and we had no luck. One day, one of our viewers messaged us and said, hey, there's a guy selling the correct globe lights down the street from me. Do you want me to get them for you? I'm like, sure. So he got them and donated them to the project, which was totally awesome. And they're in excellent shape. So we've got our 2 globe lights for the lounge. This is the registration holder that goes on the outside of the trailer. On the other side of this wall, you can see it in the show. There's actually, the holes are still there for where this was mounted, but it was missing. Fortunately, Grote still offers these brand new, so we were able to get one. What else do we have? The semi door. This is the big heavy lock for the lounge. You know, the door that goes right here between the lower deck and the upper deck, the big honkin' rectangular rounded edge door. This is the lock you see on the outside. We had 2 people donate those locks to us. So, or no, one was donated, the other one we ended up purchasing, but regardless, we have 2 of them, which is awesome. All right, next, we've got the cantilever light that you see on the wall unit of the semi. So pretend, you know, the wall unit's gonna be here. You'd always see the cantilever light sitting on the top there. In the show, it's black. This is the exact model, only white. So it needs a little bit of repair. We have all the missing pieces, but it needs a little bit of repair. We'll paint it black. It does work. So we have the exact cantilever light we need. All right, moving on. We've got the bar set here, the globe bar set that you can see in all 4 seasons of the show. The only difference is this one has an eagle on top of it. The one in the show, I think, just had a small black handle. I'd have to go check. But other than that, I mean, this can be swapped out, so that's not a big deal. But other than that, it's exactly the same in excellent shape. All right, what's this? These are the correct fake hinges. I mean, it's a real hinge, but on the semi, on the rear door, on the outside, you see fake hinges on the outside of the door because, you know, it was made to look like they had swing doors on the semi and they never did. But we were able to find and source the exact hinges. We have a whole box of them right here. So we'll be able to replicate that perfectly. The California Digest, the thing we thought were encyclopedias originally, inside of the semi's wall unit. So once one of our viewers, again, identified the correct what this was, the correct book, we were able to find them and we bought a whole box of them. So we'll be able to populate the wall unit with the correct books. We've got this GBC monitor. This was used only in season 4. So in the wall unit, you know, there's 2 half circle pieces, real tall pieces on either end of the wall unit. On this closest end, there were 2 openings and there were always 2 monitors in there. By season 4, they had these GBC monitors in here. You need 2 of them. We actually have 2. I only have 1 displayed here, but we have both of them. All right, another one of my favorite pieces, the cordless telephone. So in the show, in the office area, right about here, there's a round table. And in the middle, there's an integrated phone, right? And you see the, you know, Bonnie and Devin using it every once in a while. Once we identified the phone, it took a while for us to find one for sale, and wouldn't you know it, popping up on eBay, brand new old stock, never used, the correct phone. Look at that. And it even has, the old school antenna. So much like the coffee maker, they painted this red for the show, and I don't think they used this base. I think they only use this phone. So, of course, we're going to replicate exactly the way it was on the show, but that's another one of my favorite finds. All right, we've got the CB radio. This we see really well in a close-up shot in Night Flight to Freedom. And it's located, again, in that half-round piece of the wall unit right below where these two monitors were. They had this CB radio, at least for that episode. So we needed something to put down there, so this seemed like a good choice. There you go. A realistic and a Micronta? Micronta? Sure. All right, the magazine rack. All right, so again, round table was right here. The boomerang unit, the blinky computer panel would have been against this wall. And over here, there was a magazine rack on the wall right about there. This is the correct magazine rack. We were able to match the profile of it to this one. And to top it off, we have this People magazine from April of 1983, which actually features David Hasselhoff and Knight Rider. No, we aren't putting this in for an Easter egg. Well, it is going to be an Easter egg, but it's not our Easter egg. This is the actual magazine they had in the magazine rack on the show for at least a few episodes in season 2, maybe the whole time. It's so hard to see, but this is the exact magazine, and that's the one that's going to be in there, along with some others. We still have to identify some of the others. And then last but not least, we've got, I think I showed this before, these are all of the original style marker lights for the trailer. A lot of them have been replaced over the years, so we have all of the correct ones now. So this is where we're at. We still need the 4 swivel chairs that go around the table, the wall phone that goes in the lounge right about here. We're gonna have to make the sofa, of course, all the wall units, but really, we've got almost everything we need for the semi set, which is just so cool, so cool. So, hope you guys enjoy this. I am now going to box all this stuff back up to keep it safe until we're ready, because as you can see, we have at least a little ways to go before we're ready to put these fixtures in. But, you know, I think it's gonna be sooner rather than later at the rate we're going on this trailer. So hope you guys enjoyed this little inventory display here. And if you see anything that we're missing that was in the set that maybe we don't have here, that maybe we forgot about, I don't know, let us know. And of course, we're gonna acquire it. All right, guys, it is that time again. We have to give some shout outs to our flag agents and answer some of our flag agent questions. So you may be asking yourself, what is a flag agent? Well, I'm gonna tell you. We have a Patreon community. Patreon is a unique way to support us, the Knight Rider historians, that helps us to be able to bring you this content, to be able to go out and make discoveries like the semi-tractor and the semi-trailer and things like that. We have a number of different tiers of support within our within our Patreon community, and the flag agents are our top tier supporters. As a flag agent, you get a shout out in a video, like you're going to see here in a minute, and you get your questions answered on air, on a video, right? We've done this, I don't know, 4 or 5 times in previous videos. People seem to really like it, and it's one way for us to help connect, you know, with you guys out there. So if you're interested in joining our Patreon community at any level, you can check, there's a link in the description below, and there's one in the corner of the video right here. So let's go over our, first of all, our newest flag agents. We got 2 of them this time. Jason Fisher. Jason was a lower tier supporter and recently upgraded to the flag agent. So Jason, thank you for your support. We're glad you're here. And then we also have Dave Foster. Dave is brand new to our Patreon community, jumped right in at the flag agent level. Dave, we're so glad you're here. Thank you for joining us and for your support in us. All right, so we've got 4 different of our flag agents have submitted questions for this round. So let's go through it. First, we have Robbie Cohen. In 1988 at World Expo 88 in Brisbane, Australia, there was a KITT car on display that people could sit in. Next to this KITT car was a large, round white tower with a big blacked out window where the operators of KITT would sit inside to provide the voice for KITT and other basic functions. My questions are, what was this KITT? Was it screen used or just a privately owned version? Where did it come from? What happened to it after Expo 88? Does it still exist today? All right, so your first question, what was this KITT? That KITT was a screen used original Knight Rider car, believe it or not. It was not privately owned. It was owned by the studio at that time. Where did it come from? Universal Studios. They were a sponsor for the World Expo, and that's why it was down there. What happened to it after Expo 88? It was at Expo 88, I think it was April to October of 1988 was the World Expo down there. When the expo ended, the car was shipped back to Universal Studios Hollywood, and at that point, it started making rounds at the Universal Studios theme park. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen the photos of KITT at the theme park parked over a body of water where visitors could come, sit in the car, interact with a voice actor pretending to be KITT. They had a car on display there starting in late 1983, around November of 1983. And so from 83 through 88, they only had that one car on the display. So as you can imagine, hundreds of thousands of visitors a year getting in and out of that car, there was a lot of wear to it, right? So whenever this second car was done at the World Expo, they decided to put that one on display at the studio. And from 1988 through about 1994, they rotated those two cars in and out. As one needed maintenance and work, they would take it off, put the other one on, vice versa. So that car was on display. The Brisbane car was on display until 1994, and then it went off display and it just sat behind a maintenance building at Universal for the next 15 years. So does it still exist today? Yes, it does still exist today. It's literally on the other side of that wall. Yes, it's one of the two cars we own. And in fact, we did a video specifically just on this car on our channel a while back. You definitely want to check it out. It gives you the complete history of that car, to include some rare home video footage of the car at World Expo. So check it out. All right. Christopher Grand Leonard. I'm sorry, Christopher, if I screwed that up. I have another question. Any Knight Rider A-Team connections that you know of? Did KITT or the A-Team van ever cross paths? A crossover episode would have been amazing. Why didn't that ever happen? That's a good question. Why didn't it ever happen? I'm not sure how big crossovers were back then. I know like Murder, She Wrote and Magnum P.I. crossed over, and there was a little bit of that happening back then. But the main reason I think that probably didn't happen, even though both shows were Universal Studios, one was a Larson production, one was Stephen Canal production. Maybe that had something to do with it. Or maybe no one just ever thought to put the two together. I have never run across any indication that it was even being considered for a crossover. But it would have been interesting. Can you imagine KITT trying to track down the A-Team for Colonel Lynch, right? I bet you they would have been arrested, right? And then the A-Team would have ended early, and that would have been sad. So, all right, David Lyons. In many episodes, a tan cloth was draped from the top of the driver's seat to hide the person and making it look like KITT drove himself. In at least one episode, there's a shot where KITT pulls up, the driver's arms can be seen through the seat to the wheel. Have you ever found those seats with the armholes and know what happened to them? Were they crushed with the derailment cars? Maybe. So yes, so there were at least two dedicated blind drive seats. Well, no, there were more than two. In the first season, there was a couple designs, and if you watch the first season, they stood out quite a bit because they didn't really look like a PMD seat. They kind of looked like their own design that were tan. It didn't really blend in very well. But starting in season 2, they had a dedicated left-hand blind drive car that always had a left-hand blind drive seat in it. And then starting in season 3, they built a right-hand blind drive car that had a right-hand blind drive seat in it. So there were at least those two seats that were permanently in those two cars for most of the series. One of those two cars still exists, but we have pictures of the Knight Rider car sitting in a parking lot after the show ended, but before they were crushed by the wrecking ball, before some of them were crushed by the wrecking ball. The pictures show ones that were crushed sitting alongside ones that weren't crushed. So, but we can see in those photos that both of those blind drive seats, the left-hand one and the right-hand one, were already removed from the cars. So that tells me someone took them out before they were crushed. I don't think they were destroyed. If I were to guess, I would say both those seats were taken as souvenirs. They might be out there somewhere. We've yet to see them or have any proof that they do exist, but my gut tells me they are still out there somewhere. All right, Matthew Kochi. I was curious if the historians have any of David's wardrobe from the series, such as his leather jacket or shirt turtlenecks. No, we don't. The closest thing we have are crew jackets. We have a whole mess of crew jackets, but we don't have any actual wardrobe. I know there's a viewer out there that has an original Comtron jacket from the pilot. Really, I can't think of a lot of wardrobe that's out in the public. In fact, that Comtron jacket might be the only thing I can think of. There might be a leather jacket out there too, I'm not sure. But at Universal Studios, this was at least 10 years ago, in one of their main office buildings, they actually had one of Michael Knight's wardrobes. It's actually a wardrobe from Goliath Returns. It had his shirt and his jacket, and it was on a mannequin on display. So Universal has at least a jacket and a shirt, but I don't know of any other wardrobe out there. It'd be neat to have, some piece of wardrobe, definitely. All right, guys, that is all the questions we have this week. Again, if you're interested in joining our Patreon community, check out the link below. We also release, behind this, we release footage early of all of our public videos. You get footage, the videos released early, and you get exclusive footage and exclusive videos that are never published publicly. So definitely want to check it out. All right, back at it. All right, so I want to start this next portion of the video to give you a little background. So Eric, as I mentioned in the opening dialogue of this episode, Eric swung through. He was on a very tight schedule, could only stay a couple hours, but during those couple hours, you can bet I put him to work, because anytime someone wants to do work on the trailer besides me, I'm going to jump at it. I asked Eric if he'd ever used an angle grinder before, and he said no. I said, well, you're going to learn. So I got a chance to teach him how to do it, and he did the first few rivets, and then he was an ace after that. So take a look at this, and maybe in the comments throw a few shout outs to Eric, because he really did a great job getting all these rivets ground off. And there were 50 of them. There were a ton of rivets that he got off in record time. So he did a really good job. Check out this video and see us not only remove the rivets, but then get those panels off the back, and we can see if there's any hidden writing or anything behind those panels. Eric, is this your first time using an angle grinder?
Sadly, it is.
Is it as amazing as you thought it would be when you were?
Everything I dreamed it would be.
When you were a little kid, did you want to be an angle grinder when you grew up?
Oh, totally.
Okay. Well, let's inspect your work and see how you're doing. Let's see here.
I got a little more to go.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
I know.
More
rookie mistake.
There you go. There you go. Oh, these look pretty good. These look pretty good. Oh, someone didn't latch the door properly. Eric. Oh.
It was the cat.
It was not the cat.
I tugged on it.
Oh, Eric. I'll take care of it.
This is what happens when you don't latch the trailer every day.
Another rookie mistake.
I completed it. Alright.
Alright, now for the fun rivets.
Oh boy. So do you think original from the show, or not sure? The Apple box.
It might be. Apple boxes are commonly used, and were commonly used in productions, productions, so. Alright, let the sparks fly. Oh Nice.
All right.
Do you find you work just a little harder when you know that there's thousands of people that'll be watching this?
Yeah, slightly.
Okay, just checking.
Not much, but a little.
There you go.
Okay. 2 down.
As I just told you, Eric, it's so nice to see someone else working on the trailer besides me.
Yeah, what I should have done was take a video of Joe's little break because he looked so happy.
Oh, it's so
for
nice.
The 5 seconds that he wasn't working on
I
the
was
trailer.
sipping a margarita. It was great.
So y'all should like and subscribe his channel just to give him a break because he's been doing a lot of hard work.
Thank you. Here's $5.
Yeah.
All right. Nice, Eric. You're getting the hang of this.
Yeah. This episode is called Hot Night.
Hot Night. Hot Night.
A hot night. And,
What episode is that from, Eric?
Season 5.
No, seriously, Eric. Hot Night. Where do we hear that in Knight Rider? If you can't answer this, I'm rescinding your permissions for all things Knight Rider. Hot Night. Hot Night. CB handle. Hot
Real
Night.
trouble?
Oh, Eric.
I'm sorry.
Unbelievable.
In my defense.
Have you seen Knight Rider before?
In my defense, I just drove over 1,000 miles since yesterday.
Yeah, so you had a lot of time to think about this. Hot Night.
To pick up a much needed piece.
Hot Night. The trailer you're standing in was used in that episode quite a bit. Hot Night.
White Lion Warriors?
No! Season 1. Hot Night. Hot Night.
Hi.
Night moves, Eric. Night moves with the CB handles. Night moves.
What I meant to say was night moves.
Oh,
Season 1.
I'm going to night move you out of here and get back to Chicago.
Hey, that's why I'm the assistant Knight Rider historian.
Well, not anymore. You're the assistant to the assistant Knight Rider historian.
Whatever, it's the same thing.
Whatever. By the way, this episode is sponsored by Dorsey.
Yes. Dorsey Trailers.
Dorsey Trailer. Dorsey
Built to
Trailer.
last.
Yes, clearly.
Actually, I believe their tagline is Dorsey for the long haul.
Oh, not Dorsey. We make trailers. I don't know.
No, I think it is.
I think yours is better.
All right. Oh yeah, so while we're at it, just take this opportunity to big shout out to Aaron from Virginia. You know who you are, for helping us acquire the much needed headliner we needed for the tractor. It was actually in Maryland. He helped us out, went and picked it up for us, held on to it for a couple months until I was able to come out and get it. So I just drove out yesterday to pick it up, and that should hopefully be going in the tractor very, very soon.
Well, while you're doing this, why don't I go show our viewers the headliner?
You go do that.
All right. Here we go. Don't mind the kitchenette here. There's the headliner. So this is actually from a slightly earlier General, but this is the more desirable pegboard version. Much more durable. So we're going to be able to cut this out and make it exactly what it was. Make it look exactly like the one that was in it. Just a few slight modifications. The dome light's in the wrong place, and we need to cut that bulge out. But otherwise, it's in great shape. Steal one of those. All right.
Oh, styrofoam filler.
Don't take the styrofoam off yet. We gotta make this a big reveal, right?
Yes.
Just for a moment. Let's let this here.
Is the camera at the right angle? No.
It's for these panels.
Oh, okay.
That'll be fine. Turn it. Through your way. See, nice and easy. Oh. Will we find anything, Eric?
I sure hope so. Behind door 1 says light.
Light.
Havana.
Let's find door number 2.
Another light.
2 lights.
2 lights.
Oh, look, there's a light there too. On that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Right
Will there be a
lights.
light here? I'm going to say yes.
There's 3 lights.
There are 4 lights.
4 lights and 2 open.
Open, open. Light, light,
Light.
light, light. What's
Japan.
behind here?
Oh, I think you did. What's behind door 4?
Light.
Another light. Behind door 5, Savannah.
Light, open.
Light open.
What does that mean?
Are these code secret racing?
That says open. Open.
Oh, well, we did open, and we found nothing but light.
Open. Light, light. Open. Light.
2 lights, but they scratched 1 out.
Well, remember, anything on these panels should be from after the show, right?
Correct.
Because there would have been plywood here.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think how would that
But what would
apply,
light?
Yeah, from the racing industry.
Light, open, open, light. Interesting.
The drop deck. Weren't there like fluorescent light panels that went across?
Yeah, but I don't see. Why would this one say open? Because there would have been light here.
Well,
But again, they wouldn't write anything from the show.
yeah, no, I'm saying the racing deck.
Oh, the racing
So, like,
deck.
if they're saying like put lights here, leave this open, like don't put lights there
No,
or something.
because there were only 3 lights. There was like one there, one there, one there. So I don't think that would correlate. Who knows what renovation? This is probably from Spike's renovation because
yeah,
in 97.
community. What do you guys think? Anybody in the racing community? Why would these be written?
Light, light, light,
Assembly.
light, open.
Spike talk.
Spike was here, open,
30 wide.
30 wide.
Mags. And more numbers.
Well, there's only one thing to do. Do the other side.
Any others we missed?
Oh no, it's stuck.
Alright, try door number 6 again.
No peeking. There we go.
You want to
No
take
peeking.
that one?
I'll take this one. Yeah, you hold that.
No,
Oh, I thought you were talking.
hold the styrofoam in the panel up.
Alright, do the other side. Oh, hang on. No cheating. No cheating. Alright, ready?
Cheating?
Alright. Okay.
Okay, Vanna, what do we have behind door 6 and 7?
Measurements.
Half.
Well, that's boring.
That's disappointing.
Next.
Voila.
That's even more disappointing.
That's not nothing, not even
I'll
measured.
let you do the rest. I'll bring our viewers in here.
Alright.
5/8.
What do you guys think? What's behind here? Who knows?
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Again, we don't expect there to be
This is
anything.
true, but final door, survey says
Nothing.
nothing. Well, thanks for playing.
Actually, there is an interesting crease here. Look at this. From damage. And it goes over there too. I bet you it was some damage from who knows what.
You can see it.
But it's not over here, but it starts right here.
Hey, knock on that area where it was. Alright, now come on over here. So pretty much directly where you were knocking on it
Oh, where it was repaired.
is where this little
Yeah.
stress crack is right around the rivet.
They probably put, well, for a crack, that tells me there's body filler and stuff in there, so they must have filled that in.
Yeah.
Question is, was that a Knight Rider thing or an after Knight Rider thing?
Because if you look, it almost looks like it's
I can
kind
see
of
it
like
from
an
here.
oval shape right
And the
there.
camera picks it up too. It's all wobbly right there.
Yeah, because on the other side, it pretty much went straight across.
Let's see. Now what we have to do is watch the show and see if it has these different rivets in it. Because see, these are different.
Yes, 1, 2.
These are the factory door. See, these are different.
These 5.
Yeah.
They've got like a little hollow
Yep.
center thing in it. And actually over here,
Oh
these
yeah.
6.
Yeah, there's
So
some
these 5 and
damage.
these 6.
Something happened right there too.
There's 4.
Yep. Something happened. Why can't you talk? All right, well, this has been a very productive day. We got, I mean, the trailer is like 99% gutted. This is awesome.
Oh, Joe, we forgot to tell them about part of my 1,500 mile trek in the last 2 days was to transport this. This was a separate trip. Any guesses from our viewers what this might be? And no, it's not some sort of tuba-like instrument. It is something directly related to the restoration. So
What do you guys think? Let us know
put in the comments what
down
you think.
below. Comments.
Keep it clean.
Yes.
And yeah.
All right. Any parting words, Eric? Nope.
Drive.
Good. No, just kidding.
I didn't really have it. I was like, drive safe. Feel free to like, share, and comment on the channel. And please, any useful info, ideas, what you guys think on any parts of the trailer you've been restoring, let us know in the comments. Shoot us an email, and we'll see you next time.
And as Michael Knight always says, straight ahead. And let's shake the tree and see how many monkeys fall out.